You are watching a Fact TV presentation of the town of Swanzey.
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mark.
Sure.
Okay. Everybody's mics on? Yep. All right. Get the first one, the regular meetings.
Make a motion to approve regular meeting minutes for June 16th, June 17th, and June 23rd.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to approve non-public minutes for June 26th, June 17th, sessions 1 and 2, and June 23rd, sessions 1 and 2.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Public input? Yes, Mark.
Just real quick, I will say, in the current situation, member staff is not right. I do miss seeing the packets for these meetings, just to make that statement.
Okay.
We'll do better.
Well noted. Thank you. Oh, yeah, no, I have you on here. How fast are you going to be tonight? You got a lot?
Very quick.
Okay, then you come right up and we'll take care of you right away, right now.
I'm in here as the capacity of the chair of the Grange Hall Building Committee, and just want to offer a solution to, closing the building or not closing the building to the public. And it seems that the main concern is that that jack underneath that chimney could fail and that chimney could come down and topple in. So I would suggest that since the chimney runs through the kitchen and it runs through backstage upstairs, those can be easily cordoned off from the public and the rest of the building to be used or open, and just keep them away from that area. So that would be my suggestion for a solution there.
How would you coordinate, how would you do that?
They've got doors there, just keep the door shut or lock the door or
Oh, it's at the kitchen?
the kitchen.
But
Yeah.
what about in the main room? Is that corner where we have to rip it
The
off?
whole wall, there's a complete wall,
it's
and the
all
chimney is
behind that.
behind it in the kitchen side, and upstairs where the stage is, the chimney is behind that wall as well, in the backstage area, and there's a whole wall between that and the room.
There's already a wall that is separated. We just don't
There is.
allow nobody in the kitchen or...
Yeah,
or
or
upstairs.
maybe nobody upstairs, but at least we could have the downstairs open maybe and just shut that door wall off that kitchen area there. They're really counting on having it open for Old Home Day and counting on hopefully making some money there, selling hot dogs and things. So I'm pleading that case. You don't have to make a decision on it, that's just my suggestion.
Would you have a comment with regard to capacity?
I think the fire chief said 50 the last I heard, but I don't know if there'll ever be 50 people in there anyways with what's going on there. And the Preservation Society is happy to bring it down to whatever number you decide is safe to be in there. Just, Eileen wanted to have demonstrations, spinning and those types of things in there for Old Home Day, but it's getting real close and she's been asking me, well, what do you know? And I don't know much yet, but appreciate if you think about that.
Would 25 be a fair number?
25 would be a fair number, yes. To me, it would be, and I'm sure it would be to them, too. I think any number would be fair. And also, I don't know if you heard or not, I talked to Stefan today, and he said we might be on the short list for the L-chip because they contacted him and would like to see the building and take a tour through it. So that sounds good.
It's just the report that we are relying on is so vague.
I know it.
It did indicate restricting capacity, so...
It did.
And by cordoning off or separating off that section of the building, I would feel comfortable with 25.
Yeah, I would too.
I would support that. The cordoning off means a lot to me, that, without that, I don't think we could do that, but
Yeah, no, I didn't think about it until I got thinking about it, and it dawned on me.
And would that include shutting off the second floor?
It can, whatever you decide, because, people, they do like to take people up and have them look at the second floor, but if that's off limits, then that's off limits. We just want to keep that building open, public interest in it, keep it going. So that's all up to you. It could be, you could limit the number of like 5 people up there and take them on a tour or something like that, and just limited access to that, either way.
I'll just comment that the stairs going up are on the opposite end of the building of where we're saying to close it off. So bringing 5 people up, having them just take a visual look without going over to the stage area is probably enough for, people seeing the building and understanding it better.
Eric, do you know how many people were you signed for the Grange? How many people can go in there? Was it 50?
Under 50, yes.
Under 50?
Yep.
So we're discussing the chimney situation that came up, that it could collapse, and Scott brought to us about the wall in the kitchen and the wall up above. If we kept everybody out of that area, in case something did happen with the chimney, and we would allow them to use the rest of the hall, would you be okay if we brought it to 25 people and under, half of what we said?
Half of that would be good.
And you seem that, you find that would be okay?
Yep, I think that would give them adequate, for different events, it would give them adequate, to bring people through and show them, what needs to be done and what, the condition of the building in general, just to help convince,
Yep. Yep. Good idea.
speak to their plight for it, so.
Thank you, Eric. I'm personally prepared to make an answer if the rest of the board is, instead of moving on. I think I'm okay with that. If the board decides to vote now, that we do that.
Do we need a motion, or?
I would, but I think we just need to confirm it with Primex, since they're our insurer.
Okay.
At least we have a plan, so.
I'm just afraid that when we do this with Primex, it's going to probably be more investigating involved. But if you're, I'm all right with that then. If you want to get them in. What do we ask them? What are we going to say to Primex?
We would forward them the report and indicate that it is vague, that the current capacity is under 50. We're cordoning off or separating off about a third of the building and asking if 25, if they could support total capacity of 25.
Okay. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Do that? And then as soon as we get that answer, Scott, if they're okay with it, we're going to give you the okay to spread the word. We'll try to get it on. I'll try to get somebody on Colin right away tomorrow.
Appreciate it. It's coming up quick, so.
Yeah, right. So we'll see if
She's
we
got
can
to line
get
people up
that.
quick.
We'll see if we can make that call tomorrow.
Appreciate that. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks.
Yeah, we can't do something.
At least it'll take a while.
Yeah. Allison, how long would you, because we have a public hearing at 6, and I want to see if I could fit you in before then. Are you comfortable with that? Would you be comfortable with speaking now? You got 20 minutes.
Oh, that's plenty.
All right, then come on up, we'll do this.
That's plenty.
Nice to meet you.
I thought of these slides. I sent them earlier, but if not, I have plenty.
I'll have one.
Yeah? Okay.
I'd like one, too.
Thanks for squeezing us in early.
You might want to just say your whole name to Sue. You have it, Sue?
You got it. Sure. Allison McNeill with Good Energy.
Hi. We can go around and introduce ourselves. I'm Jimmy Tempesta, the chair.
Mark LaBelle.
Bill Hardwalker.
Alan Grubbs. Jay Ward.
Does anybody want one?
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Well, Allison, you have the floor. How's that?
Excellent. So my name's Allison. I'm with Good Energy. We're the consultant for the town's aggregation program. It's been active since 2023. So we've just renewed for another 2 years of the program. So I've got a little program update for us, and we've got some good news in there. So just a little bit about us. It's been a while since Good Energy's been in town. So just to reintroduce ourselves, I'm the program operations lead. I also have my colleague John O'Rourke with us here today. But Good Energy serves Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and New Hampshire communities. We have over 80 programs, almost the entire south coast of Massachusetts. So we brought our Massachusetts model up to New Hampshire, and so we've had Keene, Marlborough, and Swanzey all as active communities since June of 23, and maybe some more in the future. Just a reminder about what municipal aggregation is. We have the buying power of Keene, Swanzey, and Marlborough pulled together to select a supplier for everyone. The supplier is Direct Energy. It was in the first contract and the renewed contract that started in December.
Do you have the school districts as well?
They likely have their own contract, but any commercial, residential, any rate class can participate, but likely municipal buildings, school buildings probably have their own electricity contract. But anyone can join if they want to. So those rates are the same for all rate classes. Actually, that'll take me to my next bit here. I have a little table of our current pricing. So we had a program renewal this past December. So these are our 4 products for electricity in here, and then the Eversource rate starting in August. So our rates are fixed for 24 months, so that'll be until December of 2027. And Eversource, as you know, changes every 6 months. So we don't always know what their rate will be. We don't always know if we'll be lower, create savings or not. But thankfully this August, we will. They'll be at a 14-cent rate, and our default will be at an 11.58-cent rate, which is really great for residents who are active in the program. Really the key in this program, just as a reminder for everyone, is that it's stable rates. So when we launched the program, Eversource was at like 20 cents and we were at 11. So we saw huge savings for those first 2 months of the program, but everyone knew what their bill about was going to be for those 24 months. Same with these 24 months. We don't always know what the Eversource rate is going to be, but we know it's going to be stable and we know it's going to be greener than Eversource. We have that additional voluntary renewable piece of the program in there as well. So we do see a fair amount of participation in those optional products as well, as people opt up to the 50% renewable, 100% renewable. But yes, starting in August, we'll see great savings for participants in that default, and actually all 4 of our products will be below the Eversource rate, which is really great. Because that is the case, just on my next slide here, you can, this slide is just showing you what it looks like on your bill if you participate. And we have a little copy of a letter that's going to go out later this month. It'll probably hit mailboxes in early August. And this will be an opt-out letter, just like how we did at launch, but for anyone who's now newly eligible, so that pool of people who moved into town, got off of their third-party supply, to sweep in new customers to take advantage of these savings. We don't usually do mailings when we're higher than the utility, just to keep people on the lowest rate possible if they're on default service. But now that we'll be under in August, what a great time to sweep people in. It's about 1,000 accounts that are eligible to be swept into the program, which is really significant in Swanzey. So we're super pumped about that. So we have a little copy of this letter. And then we just have our contact information. I want to make sure this is super clear, and if we need to post this around town hall, wherever is best, we want to make sure that these letters don't cause more calls to town hall. So the first number is Good Energy. That's me. That's John. You get one of us. And the second number is Direct Energy, who's our supplier. So you can call either of us for anything that needs to happen in the program. So happy to take questions. I just wanted to give a brief update that the program has been really successful. We're excited about it, and we'll see some savings starting in August.
Nice. All good news.
All good news.
It's all good.
We like that.
Do you have any statistics that indicate how many of our residents are participating and what the breakout is?
Yeah, absolutely.
amongst
So
the
it's
different programs?
at launch, it's about 80% of the eligible. So we call eligible people who are on Eversource default service. So if they're on third-party supply, they're already doing their own thing. In that group that's eligible, about 80% of the town is in it. And with this new sweep of 1,000, we might probably get back to that number since we've been above the utility for so long. There's been some natural attrition as people move out, change supply, that kind of thing. But around somewhere between 70 and 80.
And do you have a breakout of the different programs?
Yes.
What our participation is in those?
Yes, the default is almost at 99% of participants. So that's what people who get automatically enrolled get into, and that's how we develop the program so that it serves the most participants. And then the basic 50 and 100 are those optional products. We do see, we've probably got somewhere between 50 and 100 in each of those options. We see a lot of the basic because people want to take advantage of the cheapest price, but for the most part, almost all the programs in the default.
Are there incentives or ways to encourage people to take advantage of some of the alternative energy opportunities?
Absolutely. We run what we call opt-up campaigns, this is to get people to opt up into that 50 or 100. So on the chart you can see, but the renewable energy totals are extra 10%, a total of 50%, or a total of 100%. So in that default, everyone is contributing that extra 10% of voluntary renewables. The 50 and 10, we might run an opt-up campaign. Really not incentives, but some marketing or campaign materials that we could make for you. We've done little buck slips in their water bill. We've done all kinds of little things, bumper stickers, whatever, to opt up. We've done lawn signs. But it's great to know that even just in the default, I think New Hampshire is 25% in their RPS, their portfolio standards, so that extra 10% brings us to 35% renewable for the majority of the program.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
Thanks, Allison.
awesome.
Thank you for coming tonight. We
Thank
really
you so
appreciate
much.
the update, and we're happy to be among us. Thank you.
Absolutely, thanks so much for having
In
us.
2 years.
No, you'll see us much sooner.
Thank
Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you. You guys should try to figure it out. We get 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Rick, we're going to see if we can get you started.
I have, he's toward
A few things on the list here, so, well, at 6 o'clock, I got to go into a public hearing, so we get to 6, I'll say go out, and then I'll bring you back, all right? If we can't
Okay,
get to
yeah,
it,
that's fine.
We can
That's
get
fine.
started.
I'm Rick Robichaud. I take care of Whitcomb Hall here. I haven't been assigned a name yet. I don't know if I'm Whitcomb Hall manager, or they have me listed as a janitor, but I don't think I do more than janitorial work here, so.
I'm sure we can come up with a title for it if you would like one.
Yeah, I would. That would be good, so that I know. Biggest thing on the list right now is the chairs. As you notice, we have covers, white ones, black ones.
Jim, you got the list here. It's about halfway through the packet, just before Swanzey Community Power.
I'm sorry, Rick. Give me 1 second. I didn't realize it was going to
That's it.
Right there.
And I have added a few things to the list.
Okay, go ahead. I'm good.
So the chairs are the biggest issue right now. Number one, do we purchase chairs, like Jimmy said, better ones with vinyl and a better cushion on them so that we can clean them and not have to deal with the linens? I mean, right now, with the linens between events, I'm changing whites to blacks. I'm doing the washing and cleaning, which I was kind of scolded for, that I'm not supposed to, that we're supposed to have a cleaning service for sanitary conditions. If we are going to keep the chair covers, which I think they're nice for weddings and other occasions, maybe we want to get another color also. And besides the linen service, I mean, to the linen service, we also have to do the kitchen towels and linens in the kitchen, which I have been doing all along since I started 2 months ago, which I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do. So now, do we continue washing the chair covers and replacing them as needed? Do we get a washer and dryer down in the basement here to take care of them to do it, which requires more work for me to do, added on top of what I'm doing already? Or do we go into the budget and get the chairs we need and make them last for 5 or 10 years? And replace 1 or 2 as needed if they get damaged or soiled or can't take the stands off of them. But I think with the major weddings, there was 100 people up here last weekend, and unfortunately the air conditioning broke, which they were in 100-degree heat. It was horrible. I was called 4 times up here to try and get the heat going, and I didn't realize the air conditioner was broken until. And that's another big issue I want to bring up also, is that instead of having a yearly checkup on the air conditioning and heat and stuff like that, can we do a 6-month, a biannual instead of an annual? That way, if there are issues, they're taken care of before it breaks down and we have an event going with 100 people that don't have air conditioning.
Let's go back to the chairs. Let's stay in the chairs when we get
All
back.
right, so the chairs.
So the chairs, so these covers, after 1 use, we have to wash them all? Is that what you're saying?
No, I just...
How many uses
So
do we get
when I
out of
go
it?
through and I take them off and I change, I check them out. If they're soiled or dirty, bad enough, I take them and I wash them. If they're not, I put them in a container downstairs, a tote, and we reuse them. I do them.
Is there an extra fee for these chair covers for the weddings?
No.
Do we say to
No.
the customer, would you like to have the chair covers, and we charge them a cleaning fee, or?
Well,
we just...
that isn't the thing. If we don't have the chair covers on, the chairs are so disgustingly dirty that, are we going to put them out without covers on it for the wedding?
Oh, I see.
That's the issue right now. The chairs are so soiled and so bad that I bet 80% of them that you wouldn't want to sit in if you had an occasion here, a wedding.
So why don't we do this? Why don't you get a quote for the chairs that we need, right?
So
Give us some ideas of chairs.
Why should I have to do that?
Well, I thought that's what you were doing. I thought you were deciding on the chairs.
So as I've taken on this job, I've had several things added on. I've been putting in roughly 25 to 30 hours a week, not only doing setup and breakdown, but also making all the phone calls for what they need for setup. Do they need a stove? Do they need linen? Do they need, how many chairs they need? How many tables they need? I've been showing the building 2 or 3 times a week to people for events, upcoming events. They want to see the building. I open and close the building for all the events. I've been changing the sign every day for all the meetings and events.
None of this was in your job description? None of this was in your job description when we hired you?
I mean, the person in front of me was never changing the sign every day for all the meetings. The only time the sign was changed is when there was an event on the weekend or something. I've been religiously coming up here every day, putting select board meeting, ADA, fireman's meeting, whatever needs to be done, because I think it's important for the community to know what meetings are going on here for the town. And I don't know if you agree with that, then maybe I should continue doing the sign. If you don't...
So we never did that before you?
No.
Not as regularly as Rick is doing it.
Now with the meetings and stuff, no. I've been doing every single meeting, so that's another thing that's added on.
It seems to me there's a lot more to this that we have to really discuss. This could need a separate meeting with us and Rick.
I think it should, because...
Going through all these things as he's going.
I have 6 or 7 more things on the list here, so...
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're in the right setting. I think we should have a special meeting with him and go down everything, because Katie should be involved, right?
Yep.
We should have Katie involved. We should have his job description to find out all this. For us to just sit here and go through every item, I think it'd be crazy. I don't know what everybody else feels. I think we
I mean, from washing windows to paint touch-ups to, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff here that I think this is going to be a larger issue than...
It'd be much more efficient if we had a separate meeting.
Correct.
Right.
If we have a separate meeting with you.
That's fine with me.
Sit here in a public meeting and go through all these things, so. But this is, we can look at all these, let's just go down and just brief me like what the problem is. So the chairs, you talked about the air conditioner, go on with just so as I can.
Okay, I'll go down, just roughly do it.
Yeah.
Audio supplies up here that are being used, people that have events up here have been getting into that room and disrupting the audio supplies by moving around using that room. We need to either have a cabinet to put them in or a place to lock them up.
Okay, that's the stuff we own, the town owns?
Right.
I own all that stuff and we...
Yep, I hung a curtain in the back there to cover it up so that people would kind of stay away from it. But I think if maybe we build a cabinet there with doors so that we could put under with the lock on it, then it'd be more
The
feasible for
important
us.
person is nodding his head back there, so.
Yeah, he is. He's nodding his head. He's saying yes. All right, just real quick, meetings. The last 3 meetings that I came up and checked the doors for specifically Board of Selectmen, the kitchen door was left unlocked. I don't know who's going in and out of the kitchen door and leaving it unlocked, but we need to be more secure. We can't be leaving the door unlocked.
So when you leave this kitchen and go outside, the door doesn't unlock automatically behind you?
If somebody turns the handle inside, it unlocks the door.
I got you. Then they go out?
They go out and they don't realize that the
several
door is
times?
unlocked. Yeah, yes. So just something to be aware of.
No?
Use that door.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a selectman, because no selectman goes in that door or out that door, but...
Okay,
Go ahead.
the halls out here, the stairwell, the painting, and all the painting in there, the post downstairs, all the painting needs touch-up. There's a lot of painting that looks really bad. The outside rugs, the one entering the kitchen, the one entering the front, the one on the back door by the ramp, they're starting to get really worn out. They need to either be replaced or we have someone come in and do them every 6 months, change them out if we could. Yeah, that's another issue. I mean, if we're going to be holding these big events, I think the place needs to look nice. And these are a lot of the issues that are holding us up right now. The seat covers, either we need more or go to the washer dryer routine and linen thing. if we do stay with the seat covers, we're going to need probably 50 more of each, just because of taking them out of service, washing them.
Where did these come from? We bought these?
Online, yes. These were in the barn. I pulled them out and I washed every single one of them. There's 100.
We own these.
There's 107 of these, and we own the black ones now. They were
How many are the white?
107, and there's only 56 blacks, which we kind of need more of each. So the blacks we purchased.
blacks in good
The
shape?
blacks we purchased from one of the customers that had an event here. She didn't want them, and we bought them from her. That's already been approved. So. Yeah, the painting touch-up, the time spent on the sign, I mentioned that, and then window cleaning. The windows, especially downstairs, up here, you look right there, they're horrible. They need to be washed. We need to get, I'm not going to do windows, we need to get a crew in and do them, inside and out.
All right, Rick, we'll leave you off this way.
And
I will have a talk with the select board. We'll put together a meeting with you. We'll set some time aside.
Okay.
We'll look at these before we even sit with you. We'll come up with some ideas of our
Okay.
own on these issues.
Okay.
And we'll bring you in. We'll have Katie, and we'll see if we can iron these things out.
Super, sounds
Very
great.
good. Thank you for
Thank you,
coming
I
tonight,
appreciate your
Rick.
time.
You got it. All right, guys, it's 6 o'clock. We're going to move into a public hearing. Notice to hereby given and pursuant to the RSA 231-133, the Board of Selectmen will hold a public hearing during a regular scheduled Select Board meeting on Wednesday, July 1st, 2026, at 6 o'clock p.m. at Whitcomb Hall, 17 Main Street, to hear a public comments regarding the name change of a portion of Eldridge Road to be consistent with the requirements of 911 telecommunication system. All interest parties may attend and present testimony related therefore. If you are unable to attend, you may submit a written question or comment prior to the hearing to the town administrator. So that being said, Eric, would you like to talk about what we're going to do and what name changes and explain why and
Sure.
and get everybody up to date, please?
Sure, so.
And thanks for that text and telling me you were being late. I didn't get to answer you back, we were in. Thank you.
Fortunately, it doesn't go to the other side. The other side has three lines on it.
Thank you.
You want to give one to Sue, too? Sue, yeah.
How many more do you have?
I've got a handful, I need like 10 or 12.
Does anybody in the crowd would like one of these? Anybody want to see one of these? We do have some people, Bill. We do have some people, Bill. So after he speaks, I'm going to ask, I'll say one at a time. If somebody would like to add to it, say, come up front and look at that, right?
So I don't have the exact date, but a few months ago, the fire department responded to a small fire at the Snides. They live at, if I make sure I get this right, I believe their house is number 80. And when it was dispatched out, our dispatching lately has been sporadic on really being able to hear it through our pagers and such. So they did say it was on the Taft Road, was the next closest road for a crossroad, but the first engine coming in didn't hear that. So they went to the other side. Now,
That's the Carlton Road.
that's the Carlton Road side, yes. Now, that's not it wasn't a big problem because this was a small electronic appliance.
lithium battery issue. They brought it outside, had a horrible smell in the house. We vented the house and things were all good. But had it been anything more, we would have delayed an engine getting there by 5, 6, probably close to 10 minutes just to come around that. So the Snides approached me and asked.
Who approached you?
The Snides.
Yeah.
Yep. So they approached me and asked how to change the name. And I explained to them it was something that we had to, they had to come up with a name for it. And once they did that, it was something that we could chat with the 911 representatives, make sure it's an appropriate name. It's not it doesn't rhyme, it doesn't sound like, it doesn't, there's no difference, there's no way to mistake the name.
And what is that name?
They came up with Coolidge.
Coolidge.
Coolidge, yep. And then after that, it had to be brought forth to you all and explain it, and that's why we're here now.
So the main reason behind this is safety and the speed of the fire trucks getting there? So
Correct.
you don't go, so if they call you and say Coolidge,
Right,
you're going
we would
on
know.
that, you're going on the end of where
Correct.
Taft to get there, or you go
Correct.
at the other,
Yep.
right?
We would know what side, where we're
What
supposed
side
to
to
go.
go to?
Yep.
And,
Correct.
and if it's Aldridge, you go to the other
You
end
go to the other
get
end.
in.
Yep.
So right now, Aldridge is one straight road.
So Aldridge is one straight road, but there's a midsection that turns into a unattended to Class 6 road.
And you can't get a
And
big
we
fire
can't
truck
get
down
fire
there.
trucks across there.
So if that's just on the other side, you gotta go all the way around and get it to the...
Correct.
And that has happened.
It has happened before, yep.
I'm just repeating this so everybody's clear.
Yep,
That's what
sure.
I'm trying to do. So it's very simple and understanding. Is that all you really have to, so the main reason is this, right?
Yes.
That's the whole
Yep.
reason we're here.
Yep.
Okay. Is any,
May I ask Eric?
huh?
I just want to ask Eric a quick
Yeah,
question.
go ahead, I'm
Are
sorry.
there hammerheads at either end of Aldrich Road for turnaround vehicles? And is that something?
Off of the Carlton Road side, no, it turns into someone's driveway, and then it's kind of like a private road, if you will, comes all the way out.
Can you turn vehicles around there?
No, we usually, if we end up getting in there, we drive out their road to get out.
So there is a way to get back to the Carlton Road without backing up?
Yes. And this end here, there's a bit of it's part of it's someone's driveway, but there's a bit of a hammerhead there we can turn around in.
Thanks. Thank you.
Okay, if you have none, I'm gonna ask the public if they have anything they would like to add to this.
Sure.
Would anybody like to come up and speak about this name change, or is everybody comfortable with it? Yep, come right up. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah.
If I have to call you back up, I'll call you back up, okay?
Hello, Richard.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi, Richard.
Hi.
How are you tonight? You got his name, Sue, Richard?
Good evening, yes. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to speak on this subject. My wife and I were the ones who named Aldrich Road years and years ago. When we first moved here, we were a Keene address, RD1, Box 394, out of Keene. And at some point in the 70s, the town decided, or the post office decided that that needed to be improved, and some of these unnamed Class 6 unpaved roads needed to get names. So we, with the cooperation and support of our neighbors, chose Aldrich because it was settled, and I have to insist on this today, on July 1, on the eve of July 4th, that Captain Asa Aldrich fought in the Revolutionary War and received this tract of land as his payment for service in George Washington's army. So this was a large tract of land going from the hill where we are down to and across the South Branch River. And the Aldriches had a passel of children, 14, 15 children in over two generations, and brought them all up on that tract of land in very small houses with small rooms. Until finally in 1880, the Aldrich line principles died out, and then the lands and the houses went into a succession of subsequent owners, notable among whom were the Carltons, whence the Carlton name came. So I bring this up mainly to explain where Aldrich came from. I am not one, I'm not descended, I have no relation. This was entirely an intellectual exercise. Aldrich settled here, and accordingly it's appropriate to sustain his name. At some point, let's see, what was the next step I wanted to bring up? Well, I know, at one point Jimmy Malone, who was then either town clerk or planning department in the town, when it came time to name the roads, yes, that was it. Jimmy had suggested Taft Road Extension as being the name she wanted. She actually lived over in the Taft Road side, and it was that triggered us to do the research on the Aldriches. And the Aldrich name did prevail. Taft Road still exists on the other side.
What year is that?
Boy, Jimmy Malone, anybody date that? I would say 85, before 1990, sometime in the 80s. Yeah, 85 or so.
Yeah.
And then later, I will say, the town again went through an exercise in naming or renaming roads around town. You may remember Bruce chaired that committee and came up with about 8 or 10 names, the only one of which I can recall is Cedar Road, which is off Flat Roof Mill Road, but quite a number of others. At that meeting, I testified that Aldrich Road ought to be clarified, that the folks over on the Taft Road side really were not Aldrich people, and I'm sure they feel the same way over on our side. And that as the last house on the hill, the turnaround place that Chief was just discussing, I'm in that house. I was exasperated by the number of deliveries and mistaken approaches, people looking for the other side from 76 Aldrich and on up to whatever is the last number out here. So I had everything from pizza deliveries to pellets to, unfortunately, EMS folks, first responders, answering an emergency call on Aldrich Road, but on the Taft Road side. But they came mistakenly, even from East Swanzey, they came mistakenly to our side. So I testified to that effect at one of these hearings, the big road change name, and nobody took my observations to heart whatsoever. I think there was some concern that Aldrich would be developed through the woods, the Class 6 portion, and nobody wanted to trespass on potential development rights. Anyway, that's conjecture on my part. So that was at least, I'd say 10 years ago that exercise took place. And since then, GPS has improved and people have become more experienced, and so I receive far fewer mistaken honks in the yard or knocks at the door. Where is 88 Aldrich Road, etc. So I'm delighted, finally, that the town is approaching what really is a problem. I mean, it's most disheartening to have emergency services from your own community show up at a town that is at a road, at a site that needs to be clarified. So if I understand the proposal, it would be to apply the name Coolidge to the Taft Road side of Aldrich. And if that is so, you have my support, and I thank you for doing that.
At first, when you sat down, I thought you were going to be against it because you gave us that history lesson of Aldrich Road, and you had me a little confused, but I'm glad you went the other way.
Well, I was glad to go the other way.
Have a little disruption there with you saying you didn't want to give that name up, And that was very nice ending to that. Thank you.
Thanks for the history, Richard.
I won't ask where Coolidge came from, because I took the privilege of explaining where Aldrich came from.
Maybe
so-
there's some history about Coolidge too. We'll find that out maybe. But thank you for the history lesson on the
Thank you very
name.
much, Richard.
My pleasure.
Thanks,
Who's next? You would like to come
I
up?
have a question, and Dick may have talked about it, but I had trouble hearing it. This doesn't affect Aldridge Road, the first Aldridge Road, correct?
Correct.
This
Carlton
only
side.
affects the other side, so we're still Aldridge Road.
Well, for some people, your side is the other side.
We've been here before that side.
The real Aldrich will be over. Hold on, stop, let's, one at a time talking. First of all, do you have her name, Sue?
Field Duplessis, 4 Aldridge Road. And I'm not on here, and I got the letter. So I want to clarify that this is going to affect us.
Right, correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's just the other side.
That's right.
Thank you.
Are you good with that?
Yep.
Good.
Thank you.
Richie, thank you so much. Thanks for the history lesson, that was interesting. Next.
How's it going? I'm Caitlin Steele. Caitlin Steele, C-A-I-T-L-I-N. Steele, S-T-E-E-L-E. I live at 75 Aldrich. I don't have nearly the history to back up my my comment, but there are 7 or 8 houses on the Taft end of Aldrich Road, and there are, I think, 3 on the other end of Aldrich Road. Just logistically speaking, it would inconvenience a lot fewer folks to rename the other side, for what that's worth.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You both can come up. There's a couple of chairs here. So you two were the ones that got this ball rolling?
Yes.
Yes.
Or our fire did.
A lithium battery did,
Oh, the fire was at your place?
yes. And,
Toaster?
no, a lithium,
Lithium battery speaker
Oh,
exploded.
wow.
Those are,
Not fun, not fun.
So, but we asked that question when we purchased our home 32 years ago, before lots of these homes were built. There were 3 built, I think, but, and when the realtor, we brought this concern up 30 years ago, we're like, what if there's ever, we have to call 911? And we were assured that this wouldn't happen, they'd come to the right side. So, and I told Mr. Mattson that too, I said, this was a concern of ours 30 years ago, just because we knew there was a Class 6 road between that Aldrich and this Aldrich Road, and at that time we had little kids. And we don't have little ones anymore, but there's a young family, an elderly couple, so we're just thinking this could have been worse. And we see some walkers go through this, so we... Yes, you have. So it's just a concern that we brought up. And where did Coolidge come from? Taft is a president.
so we just figured we'd go with the president theme.
And our
And that was
first,
really the only reason.
and our first grandchild is named Calvin.
Calvin, so.
So Calvin Coolidge, following the Taft, and Calvin Coolidge's birthday is July 4th, so
So when he grows up, you can say, I named a road after
you
him.
can,
Well, we just thought it would be a good precedent.
yeah.
Very good.
But it's just a concern we have.
Does-
Thank
does the
you.
Coolidge-
Hey.
Is the Coolidge name used in any other local community around us?
Around here, not that I know of.
Springfield, Vermont.
Yeah, I grew up on,
But not within our
No,
mutual
no.
aid? Okay, thank you.
I just want to applaud you and thank you guys for following through with this, working with our fire chief, and this is how problems get solved in our town. And it's a wonderful thing. You guys collaborated, you talked about it, you came in front of us, and we're solving a good problem, and this could save lives. And I applaud you thank you for following through with this, and I think this is a great thing. It's going to happen tonight. I think it's going to be good for the fire department, EMS, everybody in your area. Thank you, guys.
And Mr. Mattson was awesome.
yes, he was.
Thank you. It
really
seems like he dotted his i's and crossed his t's on this, and thank you.
Thank you for your feedback.
Okay. Anybody else would like to add to this?
Eric, what would the turnaround be?
So, see, I talked with them, they update, 911 updates they update through the phone company, and then they acknowledge it through all the other services, Eversource, the post office, and that disseminates out through to every other delivery service there is. But they said in August 2nd would be like the first time, will be the next time rather that they update this list. And then the following one would be the beginning of September. So that would give everybody a chance to get a hold of their, any of their services that they need, phone, electric, all that stuff, and advise them. We'll have to issue out a letter that says that this is the date we're going to change the road name. And with that, it changes the address number. So
Who starts the letter, who puts the letter out?
I can draft a letter
And we mail it to all the homes that go there, and we make sure they get it?
Correct.
And we're supposed to make a record of the new name or name change and forward a copy of such a record to the Commissioner of Transportation. The town clerk has to do that.
Yep.
So what else do you need from the select board?
I think right now it's just kind of your approval for it. And then we can move forward and I can get the letters drafted and so that they know what their addresses will be and what the name. And I guess the only other thing is, do you want it Coolidge Lane, Road, Ave?
Well, we'll let them continue. What would you think? Yeah. What do you think? Is it a road? Is it a lane? What is it? A circle?
It's like a road in there.
Is there a reason we're not even considering that, renaming the other side?
History.
I can't understand.
The history. Why we're not.
So there'd still be an Aldrich Road and it'd be the longer end.
It's not the tax, not the piece of land that was written down to the,
Oh, the other side?
that's all.
It's just
Well,
half as many people.
can you talk to that, Eric at all? No, I'm gonna ask Eric, what made us decide on that side and not the other side?
Just because they came to me and asked about that side. So we started there.
Also, Richard made a very compelling case for keeping the Carlton Road and remaining Aldrich in memory of the family and recognition of their contributions.
Jimmy, I have two things. I just want to make certain 100% that there is no other Coolidge in this area.
Oh, they checked that out.
And then the other thing I want to ask is, Richard, sure wish we could talk to helping us on a one day, maybe even to talk about something. Sorry, I had to get that in there.
So let's go back to I wouldn't call it an argument, of why we picked that side and not the other side can you state why you would like to see that? Is it a personal thing? That you don't want to go through the aggravation of changing your side, let them do it? Or what is it? What is the reason?
It's what I said when I came up. It's half as many people who would be having to go through the process of changing all their documents, getting new licenses, getting new car registrations, going to the banks, like everybody. It's half as many people on the other side of the road. That's all.
There's half as many people on the other side?
Yeah, on the Carlton side.
I see. So is that the main disagreement, that it would be less people to go through less aggravation of changing their address?
To be fair, I think also more people come to our side of the Aldrich Road when they are trying to go to Aldrich Road than go to the other side trying to get to our side. So I think it would be reducing more confusion if you change the other side.
Did you want to add to this?
Well, so we've lived on the small end of Aldrich Road for 48 years. This would be our third road change. Dick and Joan did a lot of research to change our name to Aldrich. And I don't want another road change. I've been there a long time. They did a lot of work to get us that road name. And I wanted to say that.
So you're happy with your Aldrich?
Yeah.
Huh. Does anybody have anything to add to this?
Is there anyone else here from Aldrich Road? You sent out letters to everyone, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we've spoken with several people, but they're not here.
What are we talking in housing? How many? Am I looking at all the housing that's there?
The ones that are highlighted are the ones affected.
So when he says it's half, this is one half, and then the other half?
Yeah, the other half's not on the map.
The other half ain't in the map.
Where Mark's hand is, that's where Duplessis lives in Scaramouche.
So he's saying there's a lot more people over here than here. Less.
I think he said three.
I understand the, the difference in numbers. No matter which end we chose to rename, there'd be disappointed people and people inconvenienced. For me, personally, speaking of personally, I go on the side of tradition and I want to honor the Aldrich name because that's important to me, that is preserved in the town and has that longer standing thing. That doesn't make it easy. I mean, it doesn't make it, people are going to be inconvenienced no matter how we do it. But the end result is that EMS and 911 calls are going to be going to the right place, and that's what's important here.
From the beginning, I just like to say that we didn't really care which side.
We didn't want to start.
But we just want to make sure the safety's fixed.
And to be clear, I'm in favor of resolving the confusion. I'm for changing one end to the other.
To me personally, we're this far into this, we got this far, and if we're going to inconvenience a few more people, and we're going to switch it because of that, I feel that we shouldn't. I feel we should stay personally with what they came up with in the original idea. That's where I stand. Mark?
I think we should name the one that they suggested, Coolidge.
Just follow through with it. I think, Richard, go ahead.
Just since we're having this slight disputation, a compromise that I suggested at that meeting 10 years ago was, and this made signage simpler, was to make one Aldrich Road East and Aldrich Road West.
We suggested.
And that sign simply add a W or add an E, and you're satisfying both sides, still with the chance of error, but it seems like a middle ground to me.
All I can say is from my personal experience living on Houghton Point North, and we had Houghton Point South, there's enough confusion that we were forced to change that. Houghton Point South became Pitcher Point, and we stayed on Houghton Point North. So, I mean, I think it's better not to have north and south or east or west. I really do, based on experience.
Well, then it's going to be, everybody's going to be inconvenienced because everybody's going to have to change it. So now we don't even have it. Then we got everybody now.
Part of the stuff with 911, speaking with them, they want to stay away from anything that sounds similar. They want to stay away from the north, south, east, west, especially if it's the same on each side, just because you still have that confusion.
Do you have anything to add to doing either side? Is there anything we're missing?
No.
Couldn't pick either
I think
side.
I think that side works. I think that as far as a responder, I'm all in favor of having geographic areas have the same style name. So when I worked in Keene, there's a lot of neighborhoods that had tree names, so you knew the neighborhoods you were going to. There were some other ones that had presidential names. You knew where they were going to. So I think that you have at least two presidential style names. That's an easy one to for me, at 3 o'clock in the morning to remember.
Makes some sense. Okay. Does anybody have anything out before I close the public hearing? Because I'm ready to close. Okay. So I guess it's up to us we're going to make a motion to accept the plan.
Or not.
Do we have to decide on his?
Nope, we just have to decide on what's in front of us.
Okay, Mark.
I make a motion that we change Aldrich Road to Coolidge Road on the upper side, or Taft Road side.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? Nobody opposed? Okay.
This was animated. This was nice. Thank you all for coming.
We wish we'd listened to you 30 years ago, but we got it now.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric. Honeybee Hollow.
The lease is in the proposal, is in the packet.
Honeybee Hollow, yeah.
All right.
Thanks, Gail.
Thanks, Gail.
Thank you.
All right, let's go with Allison. Let's go with Honeybee. You want to talk about that?
Yep.
You guys ready for Honeybee?
Sure. It's in the packet.
Yep.
Sorry,
How
how
are
are you
you?
so long?
I'm Nicole Luz. I'm the Vice President of the Honeybee Hollow nonprofit board.
What's your first name, Nicole? Nicole.
I'm also a Swanzey taxpayer, and I have 2 young children who attend Honeybee Hollow, so I'm quite invested in the
You said you were the president?
Vice President.
Vice President.
Yes. To be transparent, I was told I didn't need to be at this meeting, but when I emailed the proposal to Lori and found out that she was no longer going to be here, I decided it was probably in the best interest for me to be here. When I had met with her and Stefan last, they had asked us to come up with some proposal ideas because we had been having ongoing conversations about the concerns with maintenance and how it's impacting utilities. So I don't necessarily have a plan today. Obviously, we forwarded you the information and the 3 options that we felt like would be fair. But I'm happy to answer any questions ahead of time, or I can kind of discuss where we're at in terms of moving forward.
How many people on your board? You got the president, you got you, the vice president?
There's
who else?
6. Yep, so.
And nobody came with you tonight?
Because it wasn't planned, no one else could come. That was the reason. Because we originally thought we were told not to come and that Lori would be presenting the information. So at this point in time, no one else could come. I found out on Friday when I got the email responder back when I sent it to her.
Oh, so are you asking maybe it would be better if you went back with the board and you prepared a plan to bring to us that?
I forwarded, sorry, I did send it, yeah.
This is the whole plan that you want?
Yes, that's the
This is
whole-
what Laurie was going to present to us?
Yes, yes.
Oh, I was misunderstanding. I thought Laurie had something else that
No.
she was going to,
Nope.
okay.
So I have not reviewed this plan with Lori, so I'm not sure if that's what she was thinking, but we tried to be as transparent as possible, so.
Which of the 3 options do you prefer, does the board prefer?
I think the one that we would prefer at this time is the $1,500 rent with us continuing to pay the utilities. That $500 gives us the flexibility when the oil prices increase, as well as when the heat suddenly turns on for no reason and it's a 90-degree day, or we have incoming pest issues. Lori did recommend that we submit for like a reimbursement if there's larger pest issues. I think we're in a place with, I believe Joe is the head of your Facilities, thank you, is working on some of those pest pieces. So I think that would give us the flexibility. The board's also concerned about increasing oil prices because I know that the town will be renegotiating their oil prices in the fall. I also know that the second part of this conversation is that we've been trying to meet with Lori and Stefan monthly to have a discussion on how we can support in applying for grants to improve the Carpenter home. To be transparent, I'm the one who's been supporting in those pieces. We've applied for a couple of other grants and we've been able to do some fundraising that has benefited us in sustaining at the Carpenter home. But I think the real solution to this is a robust grant, which I'm happy to continue to support in. I'm not sure who will be taking Lori's place, but that is something that we plan. What?
Neither are we.
Neither are you. But that is something that, like, myself, I am very invested in, but I think our board as well. We really see the benefits of Honeybee Hollow, and we're kind of at a max in terms of what we can charge families. We're at the, I think we're only $10 below what the highest rate in southern New Hampshire is, and compared to what the fiscal or financial capabilities of some of the families are, it would be not in their best interest to continue to raise prices when the facility itself is not improving.
So I have a hard time when I look at the proposal. What I don't see in there is what the costs for upgrading the facility. You know, obviously things need to be done, things need to be fixed, but I don't see any cost estimate in there.
Yes.
You must have some of that if you're looking at grants and applying for grants. You must have some idea of how much it would cost to take care of the rodent problem and the heat losses through the building, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, so there was, and I'm probably not going to quote this correctly, there was a whole plan done, and I believe her name was Mariah or Marie, and I can't think now, but she went through and did a full, this was through the town, not through Honeybee. You guys got a long plan of what needed to be improved, and it was like over $160,000 to improve the facility to meet the, I think that was just in insulation and other pieces. I don't think that was.
It was an energy code.
Thank you.
Review that
Yes.
Barbara Scully presented to us a while back.
Yes.
Okay, so before I became a selectman.
Yes, and I think the other piece of this too is, there's the town's part in the Carpenter home itself, and then Honeybee's piece. Although Honeybee is a nonprofit, childcare is an ongoing issue across, the United States.
I think we're really supportive of Honeybee's mission and so on. I just wanted to know, as we look at the options, what it would be like for us.
Yeah,
if we-
the only quote I've received from Joe was between a $2,500 and a $5,000 quote for the door that we asked to be corrected in January. He told us that if the double doors were be replaced, it'd be closer to $5,000. But we said we were fine with the single door. It won't impact how the facility runs in that place. So I think it was a $2,500 fix for the door itself. In terms of the heating piece, where the heat just keeps magically, creepily turning on, maybe the ghosts, they didn't give us a quote on that. They just keep coming back every time we notice it. It's usually in the morning hours. So there's certain pieces that I don't have quotes for you. In terms of the grant itself, Stefan and I have been going back and forth. He sent me some other proposals for some of your other buildings in the town that you're working through that we're going to try to put together I think Northern Borders might be one of the grants that they're going to apply for. So I don't have that proposal today. I was only prepared to kind of talk more about the lease itself. And with the $1,500 rent, that would help us in supporting with some of these pieces, as Joe has been clear that the town does not have the money to complete some of these things in a timely manner that would impact the utilities. So I felt like, the board felt that this was an appropriate compromise in a way, as we continue to move forward with a bigger grant that would overall support the structure of the building itself.
So option one is the one that you prefer?
I'm not looking at the numbers, but if it's the $1,500 rent, but we continue with the utilities, and then if there's any big pest-related costs, we would then maybe submit for
What
a
is the time
reimbursement.
span? What kind of lease? How long, 1 year?
I think 1 year is what we had talked about, because we had talked about,
Can only do one.
yeah, and that was the other piece of why we have to apply for the grants with the town rather than doing it on our own, because we don't have the 25-year lease, which you guys are unable to give. So my thought is, if we just are able to move forward with this 1-year lease, we can continue to work through to come to some sort of compromise or be able to work with the town to apply for the grants itself. Because I understand there's limitations in what the town can do in terms of being able to apply for these grants. You have a lot of other things going on. So, Alice, myself, and the board are really in a place where we would love to help and be able to apply for those things, but we're limited because of our lease structure, which is no one's fault. It's just how the law is written, so.
The pest part of it is down below groundhogs, am my understanding?
Yeah, there's multiple.
And then below.
Yeah, and I included in the email, I can't think of the pest control name now, but there was a few other pieces where pests could enter in. The groundhog piece, yes, it impacts utilities. It's also a safety concern with children. I'm sure my own son would try to pick it up. But Joe was looking to fix that last weekend. I'm not sure if it had been addressed yet.
The problem we have is that we have to trap them, and we're scared to put traps with the children around, so we have to
do it on the weekends,
do it on the weekend when nobody's there. And we
Right.
got to make sure somebody gets out there early to
Yeah.
check them,
And then fix the foundation itself so they don't re-enter.
block the holes.
Yeah.
Right.
And we understand there's
That's what-
limitations
That's
there.
what our main problem is, right?
Yeah, and I think there's a few other pieces that are smaller.
You've got the
pests.
gable end and you've got the soffit.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but the
There
main
is
one
a-
is the groundhogs.
Yeah, and then the other piece that also affects the utilities is there is a piece which I think Joe came last week to look at, the floor in the preschool room. It may be impacted by the foundation. It's sinking a little bit by where the door is, so he's looking at that. We have not received quotes or anything for that, and I'm not sure what the process is for that. If we're supposed to get those quotes, it seems like Joe's been getting those quotes and then letting us know a timeline of when it can happen.
It would be his responsibility as the facilities director, and the door has been ordered. And it will be installed, but the floor issue is much more challenging.
Right. Okay, well, we appreciate that, and we appreciate the improvements that have happened, and we appreciate, the timely manner that those things are happening in. I think there's a three-part process here. We have the select board, and then we also have the town manager, who there is no town manager right now, and then there's us, so we just want to make sure that we're collaborating and being fair to the town and providing a financial benefit as well as, an economic benefit with being a child care center. But we also want to make sure that we can keep our doors open and try to increase our staff pay to continue to ensure that we have the amount of staff, so when we do expand, we can continue to.
Are you at capacity now, based on what you have?
Yes, we will be at capacity in August when the new, the whole baby room's turning over, so.
How many children is that capacity?
Capacity, it depends. If we're talking about the classrooms itself, I have to do the math in my head, sorry. There's 19 in the preschool room, 15 in the toddler, and then 12 in the infant room. But we also are able to have after-school program, which usually runs between 10 and 12 kids, because at that point, they can rotate the staffing because some children have left. So it ranges up to about 49 children, I believe.
So as I read the lease, the main changes would be the options themselves. The remainder of the terms of the lease they're not an issue. It's really the term, the monthly payment, and what each party is responsible for.
Yes, and we feel like the $500 there will help us to continue to meet the expectations, if there's rising oil costs, or if, the construction of the doors and things continue to take on, because it also doesn't just affect heating, but it affects the ACs as well.
Did you, or do you have access to, and it might have been here and I just couldn't read it, a spreadsheet showing what your costs were for the utilities, so we could compare to what they were for the town when the town was paying?
Yeah, and I think they were close to where the town was. I think the issue is the fluctuation from month to month, and it was included in my email. I don't have that part printed out.
There's no page number, but it's...
But the oil can range from, I think it was like $490 to $1,000 a month, depending, and that's just for oil.
But the totals were roughly the same. I just want to know whether we had totals that went back a couple of years, and did those numbers change for you? Understanding that it fluctuates.
I don't believe it did change too much, but it's more the fluctuation from month to month.
Sure, so it's a planning, strategic planning issue. So if we were to agree to the reduction, would that give you an opportunity to restructure your planning to give us an opportunity to go back to the 2,000 at some point?
I think our goal is to continue to meet the financial needs of the town. I think it's just being able to expand the program to have the amount of children, because we have a wait list of over 100 children, to be clear. Then we can continue to raise and pay more in rent. It's really the facilities issue, which I've proposed, and maybe not in this meeting, but in previous meetings with the town manager. So that would be our goal, to be able to go back, but this, in a way, is going to make sure that we can continue to move forward as we apply for those grants.
What would if that $160,000 were to appear, what would that involve expanding the facility in some way, or was that? Yeah,
so the $160,000 is more of what was proposed, and can you repeat the name of that?
It was an Eversource.
Energy audit?
Energy
audit. So that wouldn't necessarily expand the building itself. Okay. It's really about being able to take down walls. So in childcare, there are specific specifications that they come in a lot for how many children we can have for each room. So there's quite a few rooms in the facility that we can't use as a classroom. We utilize them in different ways, but it doesn't expand our ability to increase numbers.
If you could rearrange the room sizes a little bit, you could have more capacity.
Correct.
And that would require some major money to do that.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a long-term solution that a grant would help with, and hopefully that happens.
Yeah.
But,
and we're happy to work with the town and provide as much input or resources myself in helping to apply for those things, because grants themselves can be time consuming.
Well, it would help their grants if they had a longer lease with us, and the problem is we can't give them that until we change it, in which we'd have to bring that to the town decision, so we could give them along Lease, and then the grants did be,
Through us.
yeah, it would be easier for them to get grants. We only can give them 1 year now. That's all we're allowed.
And that's because of town meetings,
It's statute.
it's statute, okay. So that sounds like we ought to accept one of these options and move forward, and I'm ready to vote, so.
I'd like to, before that, have more knowledge of the discussions that you had with the town administrator and also the facilities director, so we had a better understanding of the scope of work that is going to be needed beyond the door, beyond the trim and the excess paint, I mean, the peeling paint, the stuff that we know is going to be done. What other things would we encounter over the course of the year? I'm inclined to agree with my colleague. I just would like to know more about those requirements.
Outside of this list, I don't think there's anything else that we feel, unless, obviously things can happen if there's, floods or whatever else, but that list is complete in terms of what we feel like needs to happen, because it's all impact of utilities in terms of...
So the 5 items here that are listed?
Yes.
Yeah.
When's the deadline for a new lease?
The end of the month.
End of this month?
Yeah. Isn't it August 1st that it renews? Yeah.
August 1st.
I don't have the lease in front of me, but I believe so.
So we do have a little time?
I don't think we need much. It's just to catch up. I'm just asking that we catch up on what the discussion was.
Yeah, and I don't think the discussion has been too extensive. I think there's a discussion about the grants, and then as far as the conversations that Joe and Alice have been having, it's, again, these items. It really hasn't been anything further. He's already corrected some of the items, I believe, the grant slab that had fallen down, which also could have been impacting the foundation. That was corrected a few weeks ago. So I don't foresee, she went through thoroughly and went through the whole building to make sure there was nothing else to add on this list. But as far as like the conversations about moving forward and expanding, that's all grant conversation. That's not directed towards what the town needs to correct in terms of moving forward with this next year's lease.
So other than the list of 5 and all of them being worked on, there's nothing else that's required for this company?
At this time, no.
If we could improve the efficiency of the building, we could cut down on those fuel costs tremendously. But we can't do that until we have certain fixes in the property homes out there.
So when I think one of the...
Part of it. It's a puzzle, just putting the pieces together. But and you can't fix the holes in the foundation until we get the groundhogs taken care of.
And we're also aware that these things, some of these things are long-term corrections in terms of like the floor in the preschool room and then also the foundation piece. So I think for us, that's why we specifically stuck to this list itself. Obviously, we have dreams as a child care center. That's where dreams are made of. But I think moving forward, we really just wanted to solidify this lease so we can move on to the next step, which is continuing applying for the grants. One of the only other things that came up in our meetings with the town manager and Stefan, which I apologize, I can't remember his position, but we talked about mini splits being an option and looking into grants that we can apply for mini splits, but that wouldn't be something we necessarily expect the town to pay for. That was just an option that we had discussed that could potentially impact utilities.
I want you to just understand one thing, because you said it a few times, that a town manager is different than what we had here. She was a town administrator.
Okay.
So town managers' roles are a lot different. They make all these decisions.
Gotcha.
And when you have a town administrator, we do.
You make
So I'm just clarifying. And
No, that's
just so
helpful
you
for me because this
understand.
is a new process.
Yeah, right. Okay, so we don't have a town manager.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I'd just like to hold off till the 15th to give Joe DeRusso, the facilities director, an opportunity to weigh in and agree that with what's on the docket. We, as Jim mentioned, we're aware that he's working on the groundhog problem, and the door is on order as soon as our coverage.
I'm not sure that had been communicated yet to our board the last time I had spoken.
It
so.
has been.
Okay.
So there, as you said, they're moving parts, and he is taking care of things.
Yeah.
So, and if we if the board's okay with that, the 15th
Gee, when is
still
our
gives
next meeting?
the 15th.
Well, our next scheduled meeting is the 15th. We are going to discuss whether we're going to meet every week instead of every other week, so.
Okay, but if we put her on the agenda for the 15th, then we
15th.
prepare for that.
I would not be available to
What
meet
about
on
the
the
president?
15th. I'm sure the president or Alice could be present for
We could
that.
have somebody come on the 15th.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. I'd like to see more people in case we have questions too. The more that can show up would be
Okay.
nice
All right,
on the board. I'd like to meet them. And
yeah.
are you okay with that then?
I am.
The 15th?
15 works.
And we just
Okay.
have to remember to follow up on that with Joe and maybe Stefan too, so.
Yeah. Bill wants us to ask him some questions about that.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
I
so,
propose that maybe we consider doing a tour. I've never been in the building, and we'd be interested to see it.
well, you could probably do that on your own. You could probably go over there, because I did the tour, and he could go over there and say he's the selectman from the town, and
Yeah, if you'd
And
like, I
Allison.
can make sure that Alice is here and you guys can come up with a date on the 15th.
I do have to say, whenever I'm there, it is a joy to hear the children laughing and having fun.
Yeah. And I would like to say that we did have conversations with the superintendent and the principal at the elementary school on the benefits, because we do before care as well. So it's been really beneficial for families who are, like myself, who commute far away. So being able to bring the kids down is also an added benefit for the before and after care. So it really, I think people are starting to see the benefits of it, not just in the child care capacity, but also in how it impacts the general education as well.
One last request, Nicole. If you would just confirm with the board that really all we're discussing are those three options, that the remaining terms of the lease just need to be updated for the new year, and that can be communicated to the same email address. It's being answered by two of our people. One of the
Okay, I believe one of them emailed me back, so I just respond to Lori's email. Is that what you?
not her
No,
individual one.
not anymore.
Town. Go ahead.
Right, so it would be my email,
No, town administrator.
town administrator,
Okay.
I think that'll work.
Yeah, because that'll include both you and Joe.
I guess my question is, are you not willing to accept one of those three, or is the question
No,
like?
I just want to know if that's all we're discussing.
Okay. Yes, at this point in time, I do know that that's the board's intention, is that this is all we're discussing. The grant proposals and expansion are a separate conversation. We wanted to make that clear because we wanted to get this lease underway so that we can move forward and starting to apply for other things.
Sure, and the purpose of the question is simply if we make a decision on the 15th, we know that it's option 1, 2, or 3.
Gotcha.
And there's no other
Option.
terms that are
Okay.
of concern in the lease.
Yeah, and again, I did not receive any feedback or review from the town administrator, so if there's things that the select board feels like should be considered on those options, then
Well, maybe on the
open to-
options, but in terms of the remainder of the lease,
Okay.
we were an integral part of that, so I
Yeah.
don't believe there would be.
okay, great. All right. And would it be at 6 o'clock again?
It's say the electricity and the oil.
5:30.
I can't read it.
Which one can you not read? I can get it
Can't
reprinted.
read it.
It's kind of.
Is it too small? It probably was a screenshot, but it's probably
I
the-
can read.
might
But that
be-
shows you the electricity costs and the oil and everything on that page.
Yep, it's,
9,000 something, yeah.
yeah,
You
it was
can read that.
9,800 from January to June.
Oh, you can see that, huh?
This is year to date.
I've got
January to-
I've got
January,
blue eyes, but they
yes.
have glasses and I can see it, yeah.
Okay, so what's in your hands is you're going to bring us some of the board, right, to
On the
see us on the
15th.
15th,
Yep.
and we'll make sure you get on the agenda, and we'll go look into what Bill wants to look into, and we'll move forward.
Great, and I'm sure Alice would love to give you a
Very
tour.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Nicole.
Nicole.
Thank you. Thank you, Nicole. All right, we're in new business, right?
Yep.
The job description.
So this was an update of the finance director's role based on our comments previously that it was updated by the human resources coordinator. I think she did a good job with that.
And the big change was in supervision received,
Yep.
so.
I move to approve the finance director job description as amended.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
We have Guess who we have here tonight? I think we have Kathy that needs to come up, right? And we'll have her come up and we'll talk with Kathy for a few minutes.
Got a busy day today, Kathy.
Kathy's laying a big project on the table. Let me see if we can find where it is. Do you know what page it is, Bill?
It's page 1, but
Yes,
the
that's
pages
it.
aren't numbered. We're training a newbie at this, so she's doing one heck of a job, let me tell you. It's right after good energy, which is the blue outline. Keep going.
You spent a lot of time in this building today.
Right up to here?
Right after that is the,
Go for, after the job description, after the job description.
description. Keep going. Come this way. One more page, one more.
Oh, yeah? Ah.
What does that say? Here it is right here.
All right, Kathy, I'm going to have you talk about this first. How's that? A little?
Sure.
Just to refresh Alan and Jay and stuff, because I don't think they were at that meeting.
They
We
were
did
not.
that meeting, we talked about this down at the lake
Last July.
last
I was
July.
at
But
that meeting. Jimmy, I was
Jay
at
was
that
there.
meeting.
But I
You were at that meeting.
originally started
Not
addressing
as a
the Board of
selectman.
Selectmen fourth quarter of '24. So I've been talking to you guys for a long time about this.
You're closing in.
So, yeah, we believe, Swanzey Lake Protective Association believe it's very important that we have a septic regulation to compel people who live in the watershed to have their septic systems inspected regularly, pumped regularly, for the health of the lake. And we did, actually, Swanzey Lake Protective Association did a septic survey last October. And about 50% of the residents in the watershed responded. And most reported they had septic systems, some reported that they have holding tanks. 20% of those who responded reported never having had their septic inspected while they owned the house. So Swanzey Lake Protective Association has been talking with Southwest Regional Planning for over a year to about 319 grants, which they restore impaired waters or protect high-quality waters by addressing non-point source pollution through implementation of watershed-based plans, which we do have a watershed management plan. The town got a grant for that a couple of years ago, so we do have a watershed management plan. FB Environmental provided that for us. We just found out that the 319 grant the RFP is available, so we can start submitting that. Deadline is September 4th. So just found that out today, that NHDES has released that, the process for 319 grant applications.
What was the deadline, September?
September 4th for pre-proposal consultation and September 11th for pre-proposal submittal. So Swanzey Lake Protective Association is actually meeting next week to talk about what we can do with regard to that. So I've submitted a bunch of paperwork to you all, again, with regard to this, so you can look at the benefits of having septic regulation, what other municipalities are doing that have regulations, the timeline for compliance, penalties for non-compliance, just so you can kind of see what some options are if you all decide to go forward with this. I reached out because I was asked how, if we do implement this, the town implements this, how would the town bear the burden of this if there were costs? So I reached out to Spofford and said, okay, what do you guys do? And they're required to show proof that a certified inspector examined their system, and it's not in failure. They have to do that every 3 years.
How many years? 3?
3. And across like with the, this that I gave you guys, the
Excel spreadsheet. They range from anywhere from 3 to 7 years that people are required. So Spofford does every 3 years. They have to have their septic systems pumped in Spofford every 2 years, and they have to provide paperwork to the town, so health officer.
They have to be pumped every 2 years?
That's what
in
Spofford is
Lake?
telling me, yep. And
At
again,
the
they have
cost
to-
of the homeowner, obviously?
Yes, and failure to comply, there are penalties. So aside, according to the vice president of the Spofford Lake Association, aside from paperwork by the town, there is no burden, like an outlay of funds or anything by the town, other than the, I don't know if the health officer or whoever is responsible. Here it would be our health officer, would just have to accept the paperwork and make sure that people are complying.
Go back to the holding tank. Is you saying holding tank, that's just a tank on a septic system?
Like
right?
holding hall.
Huh?
It's just a tank.
Yeah, it's
You
a
don't have
holding
a
hall.
leach field, you mean?
Correct.
It's just a holding?
Holding tank that they get emptied.
And
so
they have to get empty? And what percentage has that?
They didn't say, just some reported, so most reported septic, and some, so I don't have the
Do you
number.
think the
but-
majority of the homes around there have holding tanks?
No, the majority have septic, but there are some that have holding.
So are those going to be inspected too? Because really, how would you find faults with those unless the tank is cracked, right?
Yeah, crack or leaking.
So the inspection would be to make sure the
Yes.
tank is not cracked, so they would pump it down and...
Right. So it's something, one would think that people who live in the watershed would want to do this to make sure that they're protecting and preserving the quality of the lake. But for some reason, not everyone is doing this.
You said there are penalties for people that don't follow. What kind of penalties are there?
For Spofford, it's $100 a day.
So, yeah, Spofford, $100 a month.
Month.
Cobbitts Pond in Wyndham, $100 for the first 10 days you're not in compliance, then $50 a day thereafter, max of $1,000. Enfield, $250 a day. Springfield, max $1,000. So again, it's whatever you all decide. If you decide to adopt a regulation, you can put something in.
And do you know, how are these policies going in those, like in Spofford? Has the public been accepting of it? Has there been resistance? Or?
No, they are accepting, and I believe it came after a lot of communication before the regulation went into effect.
Yeah, it says in here 90% of people are complying in Spofford, and they're very happy about it. So,
Tell me how much it would put on the town, as you said the health officer would be involved. What else? Give me some of the examples of what would we be responsible, what would be the duties of the town if we took this on? As far as you have a group of people that would do a lot of this around the lake, right?
Well, we've been doing education and water testing. So we volunteer, the Lake Association volunteers, so we do that. And we pay for the testing. It goes to Concord, which we drive it out there and we pay for the testing to check the quality, clarity, and so on. So we communicate that to the residents in the watershed.
So the people would answer to the health officer of the town, they would have to bring their paperwork to, listen, I pumped my tank, you're right?
Yes.
And we would have to make sure that all happens and then notify the people that didn't turn them in. And
that they're not compliant. And if you wanted help from the Lake Association, I'm absolutely sure we can help you with that.
now this regulation applies to more than just Swanzey Lake.
Or it would be the water, whatever, bodies of water. So you can do an overlay.
what are the other places that this would affect in Swansea then? Swansea, Wilson Pond is...
Well, Wilson Pond is all on sewer, but
Right.
but the something near a river would also be affected by this. If you were living by Branch River or the Schwela or something like that, you'd have to be in compliance. I'm not sure what, there's some sizes mentioned in here, but there are other ponds in town, other little bodies of water. So, but I forget what the
10 acres are over.
10 acres are over, yeah. Okay. So there aren't too many that are 10 acres over, but we have
10
some.
acres of
We have some
what,
wetlands.
water?
Of any impounded water, whether it's a pond or whatever it is. 10
Right.
acres or more.
Give me an estimate, what is Wilson Pond?
72 acres.
Oh, so 10 acres is a little piece of that Wilson Pond.
Yeah, Wilson Pond is pretty big, yeah.
So this could affect a lot of people in Swansea.
It would be that, and, let's see, it would be the Asheville River, Ash Swamp Brook, and Martin Brook, Swansea Lake, and Wilson Pond.
And the South Branch too, right?
The South Branch, yes.
And you're talking about impounded water, the question is, we have some large wetlands, some of them are around Martin Brook and Ash Swamp, all that stuff, but there are some large wetlands in town that might be affected too, but we don't have that many.
It'd have to be.
What's the definition of impounded water? What do you mean by that? What is?
It'd have to be something like Swansea Lake or Wilson Pond, not really
Yeah.
a wetland like you're talking.
Yeah, that's what, I just want to make that distinction. So, that's not too much more, I mean, Swansea Lake is the big area where this would be affected, all the people around Swansea Lake, because almost all of them are on septic or some other sewage thing, and a lot of the, what Kathy's saying is a lot of those folks haven't kept up with the maintenance of their septic systems. So there will certainly be a lot of work involved with our health officer in the very beginning of this, at least, if not.
I think it's a wonderful idea, but my concerns are, do we have the capability of taking something on this large? I think it's a lot larger than you'd think. I think there's a lot of work involved here. What do you think?
I agree.
There's going to be a lot of work involved in pulling this off.
Well, it's 60 homes in
The what?
60 homes in the Swansea Lake watershed.
60 homes?
Yeah.
Is that, you're talking about what Scott just said?
No, just in Swansea Lake
Oh,
watershed.
just Swansea Lake.
Yes.
But if we phased it, then it wouldn't be immediate onslaught.
Yeah, so
if
when
we
I was,
dealt-
when I was looking at this, we couldn't do 60 homes in the same year, so you would have to say, 20 and then would be the first year, 20 would be the second year, because you couldn't have the health officer, you would have to
He
do
doesn't
this in
have to,
increments.
he doesn't have to inspect them. He would just have to take the paperwork.
He's just tracking.
So we would send out a letter, like the town.
What about pumping?
Again, the health officer doesn't have to do anything other than take paperwork. So the residents are responsible for getting a certified inspector and having it inspected, and if it needs service, then hiring somebody
So
to
we can
service
do it all in 1 year, the whole pack.
I would,
So
because
every 2 years, this is going to come on to the health
2,
officer.
3,
for
5.
60.
Yeah, it could be 2 years, every 3 years, every 5 years. So the select board is free to make that determination, what frequency they want it. They want to do every 5 years.
I
We
see. I
would
was
welcome
thought
any
we were doing it in
interval.
phases.
Yeah, we would welcome any interval, because right now, there is no oversight.
The critical thing would be the education, making certain people understand why we're doing this.
Yes. Which again, the Lake Association has been educating people, but if the town, and they're aware of this, they know that we've been having these conversations. So if the select board decides to go forward with this, then we would inform the public, and then you all would say, okay, if this goes into effect November 1st, you've got, 100 days to comply, whatever, 6 months, whatever it is. But so people have time to get the inspection scheduled, and then if they need it serviced, to have it serviced.
So you're saying the only thing that's going to affect the town is the health officer collecting the paperwork from the residents?
Correct.
That's it?
Correct.
Well, no.
Well-
It would definitely be more than that.
But he doesn't have to go out to,
Right.
Yeah.
But this position is strictly a part-time position handling the workload that it's currently handling. So we would have to account for the
because he does more than
administrative
be the
work.
health officer,
Right.
correct?
So we need someone to coordinate the education program in town.
And we would need a file cabinet.
We would need what?
A file cabinet, because there'll be a lot of paperwork.
It's all digitized now. Come on, Jay.
But if they're not in compliance, let's say you have got, 100 days, once it goes into effect, and it looks down the list and says, oh, Kathy Bergstrom hasn't sent her paperwork in. Do I get an email or a phone call? Where's your paperwork?
So is this as simple as us deciding that this is what we're going to put into effect? It's
Well,
gonna be more
I would
than that,
suggest you have a
right?
public
It's
hearing.
going to be a lot more than that. It's a public hearing.
You can adopt it. It doesn't have to be a town vote, but I would recommend having a public meeting so people can
And there's
learn
some
about
details to
what
be
you're
decided too,
considering.
right?
Yeah,
Like the time periods and the fines and all that stuff.
right.
I think this would be a great opportunity for you to coordinate with Ms. Heffernan, with the governance committee, and to give them a charge to pull all of this data together. That's what their charge is now.
I'd rather do it myself, but if you want them to be involved, that's fine.
I'm just one voice, making a suggestion on how things could move forward much more quickly than they have over 2 years.
But they're not responsible for scheduling a public meeting,
No.
correct?
No,
Okay.
we'd have to have
I just want to
that.
make sure of that, yeah.
No, we would have to have the public meeting.
So tonight, when you
Yeah.
leave here, we were all in kind of agreement. What would be your next step? Where would you go from here?
Well, if,
What would be what would the steps be to get this off the ground?
so to ask you to schedule a public hearing to find out
That's the first
what,
thing we do?
what questions people have, and then have you all consider like what other municipalities are doing and what you're all comfortable with. So when people say, what kind of fines would there be? What kind of time frame do I have? So you'd be able to answer those questions. So I guess you all would have to
And that
come
would
up
be
with
tough. We could
that.
use Spofford Lake for a comparison, right? We could base it on other places.
Mhm.
We could
That's what
come-
this is.
Yep.
It's all these other municipalities, just to give you a menu of options.
Would we want to do that before we have like a public education meeting, in which maybe there might be a presentation about spot rates, so people could be exposed?
Public hearing would be that, wouldn't it?
Again, all the people around Swanzey Lake are aware of all of this.
And if we said there was a public hearing, a lot of them would be here.
Oh, my God, yeah.
I don't know, because
We're
we
gonna fill this room.
publicized it last year. That's why we met down at Richardson Park. And
And more people from Wilson Pond came than Swansea Lake.
Correct.
Oh, yeah, right.
But again, it wasn't a public hearing, it was an informational.
Right.
Scott, go ahead.
Generally, ordinances have to have a public hearing for the planning board too. Not sure how you're going to address this one, but usually that has to, you may end up having two public hearings. If you have one, the planning board would have to have one too, ordinance. And there are also, some things that come up there, but there are also alternatives to pumping out the tank too. You know what I mean? It's going to be expensive to property owners to have that done every 3 years. And not everyone's septic system is used the same way or reacts the same way. It's more or less a digester, is what the tank is. And another way to do it, other communities have done this, is that you use for another term, a sludge judge, and you see how much sludge is in the bottom of that tank, and check it every year, and then if it gets up to 2 feet, then you have it pumped, rather than just pumping it out every 3 years. You might only have 3 inches in the bottom of that thing a year, making a homeowner keep the darn thing out, at that expense. So that's something to consider, but that can come out in the public hearing too. But just want to bring up public language.
So I think that's two things, right? One is the activity of getting the pump, but the other one is the activity of checking it to make sure it's still,
Well,
it needs to be pumped.
If it were, we'll say whatever your level, say it's 2 feet, then yeah, you have to get it pumped within 30 days or whatever the thing would be, but you shouldn't have to make every single person pump their septic tank.
I agree.
So who would then go around and make sure the depth of the sludge is under 2 feet?
It probably would be the health officer. Yeah, you could hire somebody or have the homeowner hire someone to do it that way as well. I suppose the homeowner could do it also.
That's hard to say.
It is hard to say, but it's
They could say they did it and not do it.
And the other thing is, that if you put the ordinance into effect, we'll say November, like you're talking about, then you're getting into ground freezing, and there are people looking for their septic tanks, they don't know where the heck it is, you got snow on top of it. If you institute it, probably should be done in the spring.
Well, I just threw that out as a for example, but yes. But yes, if people were at the very least having their septic inspected on a regular basis, that would be a huge benefit to the health of the lake. Some municipalities offer a waiver, so if you've got a 4-bedroom house and only one person lives there, you wouldn't need as much maintenance on your septic as if you had a 4-bedroom house with 8 people living there. So you get a waiver instead of saying, oh, every 5 years, you can have it inspected every 7 years.
That's if you have a 4-bedroom septic.
Correct.
So like, we have little control over that. I personally am more interested in the inspection of the system than whether they pump it. So if the system's in failure, it doesn't matter how many times you pump it.
Yeah, I mean, the regulation can merely say that people have to
People
have
that
a
have
passing
holding tanks
inspection.
probably pump them twice a year, I would imagine, at least. People that have holding tanks, how big can these holding tanks be? 1,000 gallons?
I don't know, actually.
All different sizes. Some of them are cement, some of them are steel. The older ones are steel.
These guys are really old.
Really don't know what's there, right? You'd have to see it first. But it
And I
all
would-
depends on the usage. They may be seasonal homes.
And I would imagine they have risers on them all. Like, I converted my park into all risers. I have 80 septic systems over there that I maintain.
Raised beach field?
Yeah, I did.
Right?
No, risers over the tank so they can be pumped. You put the tube, yeah, and then I just have a cover right to the grass level, so I don't dig in the frozen winter, and I have a problem. And then the heat of the water below keeps the lid, and you can pull the lid out. So you take the cover off, you go down, you put the cement lid up. I did 80 of them in my park, so I don't have that no more.
That's the way to do it, but probably not majority around Swanzey Lake have that or anywhere else.
Yeah. Because, there's winter situations where you have to get in there, baffles get clogged up, it's all sorts of things. They have to go from that direction up if there's a blockage, if there's any blockage. But anyways, what do you guys feel?
I think this is a direction we should be moving into.
I'm still not clear on what the best details are, but I think this is what we want to, have something like this. So we need to work on it. That's, I think, I'm happy if we see a proposal which has penalties and periods and so on, which deals with some of the issues that Scott brought up about how inspection would help in some cases give people a waiver from having things pumped and stuff like that. We'd come up with some way
You have
to
to have
work
somebody
around.
independent do these inspections. You can't have a septic company come out because they're going to tell you need it whether you need it or not. I know better because I have my, if I send somebody out, I think there could be something, it's wrong. It's got a cracked tank, and
So did you?
Other communities, like Block Island I'm talking about, I'm familiar with that. They have their code enforcement officer check with a sludge judge your tank every year. And if it's above a certain amount, then you have to have it.
Makes sense. Because some of them, they run beautifully. If you have a correct leach field.
They digest.
Yeah, they digest and they get a leach field, they can go for many, many years. I pump mine every 2 years. I have a system to my park. But that prolongs the life of the septic system for me. I don't have to change them as much because it relieves the leach field quite a bit.
Yeah, and filter too. I don't know if that filters on yours.
Yeah.
Have the members received Stefan's proposed, like the draft?
In the packet, we have that along with all the information you
So
provided.
he talks about the applicability, regulations, requirements for replacement, and then waivers, like I had talked about, on a case-by-case basis, up to the health officer. So one of the things is septic system that uses 50% or less of its capacity on an annual basis. And then he does offer penalties. So you've got 90 days to correct deficiencies.
But this
And it
seems to
just says
involve a little more.
penalties as provided for in the statute, but he doesn't specifically state them. Pardon?
Yeah. It just seems to involve a little more direct action by the health officer, the way this works. It's not just collecting paperwork, it's actually inspecting and so on. Because, Stefan was working toward being able to be a sewage inspector, septic system inspector. He was working toward that certification.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, so, I don't know if that's what we want out of our health officer or not. Whether we want to have somebody else independently do it or whatever. We have,
Right now, I don't think we have that officer do it. What do you also, do you see anything that we're missing here, Scott, on this that you want to talk about?
See if I want to poke some holes in it?
Well, I just want to make sure we see the whole picture, we got to see the whole picture. We got to see what it's going to bring on us.
Just a few clarification things in there. You're talking about, provide documentation of the pumping to the town. You need to specify who gets that, not just the town, you have to specify the health officer or.
Yeah, I think have the
building
address,
inspector.
yeah.
You know, things like that in there, and, you know, they're, so in general though, let's see, in general, I would say about the, having the tank checked with a sludge jug rather than having it pumped out on a regular basis, I think would be a better solution to that. The inspection part of it, to see if the, you know, the system is working properly. Depends what they inspect, yeah, I don't know exactly what you.
Well, one of the ways you know that is when you pump it out, if it flushes back into the tank and refills the tank, you know it's held back in the leach field. And the only way you can do that is pumping it out to know that if it's functionable.
You can do that without pumping it out too. You can pull by the distribution box, you can pull that up, and if there's a bunch of water in there, obviously the leach field is not working. But yeah, if it's not working, you're probably going to know about it sooner or later anyway.
But the distribution box is usually pretty deep and offset to the tank, right? We'd have to dig down and get to the cover of that to look in that, right?
You would, for that D-box there, there's usually another cement cover right before it goes in, out to the, like it goes to the leach field.
Right.
But something like that. Another thing is that, you know, in here it's about having somebody certify where the high water table is and certify that the leach field is 2 feet above that. I can see that as a problem and a big expense too, especially if it's not causing any problem. Depending on what the soil is too, that's in here too, about the 2-foot rule. Might want to be.
Well, if that was the case, we'd be doing a lot of pollution there, right? The water table's higher than the leach field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your leach field probably wouldn't be working too well.
It would.
Yeah.
Right.
But again, in most cases, yes, it isn't the state regs don't let you do that anyway, but in most cases, yeah, that leach field would be working properly and it would be above, at least 2 feet above probably that high water table.
Right.
And you gotta pay somebody and probably a soil scientist to certify that, yes, that's a high water mark right there, and if 2 feet below it or above it, however it is, it's another big expense there. If things aren't working, that's one thing, but if things are working, I don't know.
So one of the concerns is yours is to not make the homeowners spend money that they don't have to. You're saying to protect the homeowner of not have to, you know, more testing than just doing, right? Which makes a lot of sense, and that would sell this a lot better if the homeowner knew that that option was there, if they're maintaining, right? So, Mark. Oh, I'm sorry, Mark.
Well, you gotta look at me. How many times have I raised my hand? I don't know if it's in there, but I think the proximity of the septic system to the body of water is important. It's not just a property on the body of water. If somebody has 40 acres and is 200 yards away from that body of water, I don't think they should be required, right? But certainly, you know, if they're closer to the body of water, that's what
they wouldn't. It's 250 feet.
I don't think you're gonna have that situation.
It's the Swanzey watershed, everyone is within, yeah.
I was thinking more of maybe one speaker or something like that.
I don't know what we do except that, get a little bit more detail into this proposal before we look at it again or something. I don't know, but ask for a revision based on what we talked about tonight. I don't know.
What are you hoping to leave here tonight, Brad, from the select board? What I want to know, because there is some unseen questions here and stuff like that. What would be your best option to leave here with tonight? To move ahead with this?
Clear direction.
Clear direction.
Because when I left last time, I was asked questions, and I provided answers to those questions.
Right.
So what do you all need from me at this point?
Right. Well, Scott brought up the planning board would have to be involved in this too. We'd have to have a public hearing there, right?
Yeah.
And then there would be there'd be 2 public hearings on this?
If you have one as well.
I would have one and you would have the board of planning.
I don't know that the selectmen have to have a public hearing, but the planning board does have to have a public hearing.
Oh.
Okay.
So
should I coordinate that with you, or?
Probably Victoria now.
Yeah, probably moving forward, since it's kind of a planning issue anyway. You might get more feedback from the planning board than you might tonight for these guys out here. I'm nothing against these guys.
No, I agree.
We're sort of at sea here in terms of knowing how to put this together, so.
That's why I'm trying to get to this,
Be
how
better
we
with the
leave
planning
Should I
here.
address the planning board then?
I would suggest that.
Okay.
I think that's the right way to go.
There'll be some details to work out in here, a few things in there that are ambiguous that I've looked at and there we could
So
go.
maybe she would probably approach Adam first, no?
To get on the agenda?
To get on the agenda.
Yeah.
And then she presents this to the planning board and see what the planning board comes back with.
Or refine one. This one looks like it's from another one of the towns around here somewhere. It's from, or Northwood.
Yes.
But just to refine one of this, there are refinements before you get to the planning board, and then planning board.
And so I would pick a time period, pick a fine, pick a number, and then it can be discussed at the planning board. So give them something to work off of, rather than this, or this. Give them one thing, and then they can say, well, no, we want it bigger, or we want it smaller. And we want to have the sludge testing and all that stuff somehow worked in there too, I think, what we got tonight. But I think the planning board are the people who have more expertise in this than we do. But it should happen, as far as I'm concerned. We should get some kind of...
I already did, I think it should go to the governance committee. But there's also the possibility that you brought up of a regulation versus an ordinance, and the potential that actually it would bypass all of that and be a regulation that would be implemented by the board. And we'd have to research that. I'm reading a letter from Chesterfield. Reading it sounds like that's what they did.
Yes.
But they also have town meeting in May, so they could have gone through the process that Scott mentioned and approved it on their warrant or not. But this doesn't indicate that. It implies that the select board implemented it.
They adopted a regulation. Yes, they did have a public
But was it
hearing.
done at town meeting? Because if it wasn't done at town meeting, then it would be something that you're indicating the select board could do unilaterally.
Correct. My understanding is because it falls under health,
Right.
it doesn't need to be an ordinance. It does not need to go to a town meeting.
Right, that's what we talked about the
Yes.
other day. So I'm not suggesting that, just that that's an
Right.
option.
So that's the other thing, we could decide whether it's going to go the regulation route or the ordinance route.
Personally, I prefer the ordinance, more eyes. But, no, I already said, I think it should go to the governance committee. That's why we've changed their charter to permission. And I think that would give you, personally, I think that would give you a much cleaner, straight path than it would to go to the various boards. And in other words, you'd be able to, with the governance committee, come to grips with a complete proposal that could be made to both boards. That's my opinion.
Almost half the governance committee is on the planning board anyway, so.
Yeah, so you got buy-in right there. I just think it'll move the process for you.
Sounds more like a regulation to me, because you have a health officer involved, because there's penalties involved. It just seems more regulatory, in my opinion.
And again, that's something that could be decided by the committee.
It also could be that the planning board could give some advice as to how it might work, and then that becomes a regulation proposal.
Yeah, I'm personally in favor of her doing the planning board first.
Yes.
See what they come about with. And I'm not, I don't, to me, the governance committee don't matter. She wants to take this on herself and do it, I'm all right. But I just want to see it go through the right process of where it needs to start. And I think it needs to start over there more than here, to get the ball rolling. I think they'd guide you more than anybody could about how we go about this. What do you think, Scott? Do you think that's where she should start?
I think it's a good place to start, because you're going to get a bunch of questions
Right.
from the planning board anyways, even after you go to the governance committee. But if you went to the planning board first, like he's suggesting, then the governance committee to go through it. I think
Yeah.
that might be a better solution.
So I'll reach out to Adam. Okay.
Yeah, so you go to Adam, you get on the agenda, you present this to them, right? And Victoria is the chair now, right? She'll address you and you'll get a chance to speak.
Great.
And there will be a select board member sitting in too there. So,
Okay.
What do you think?
I think we're in agreement that we support this initiative as long as it makes sense for the town when we're all set with it.
Are you satisfied with that?
Yeah,
tonight,
sounds like a
Kathy?
plan. Yes,
Yeah.
I have a clear path forward.
I think we dissected it enough to know how to move it forward a little, right?
Thank you.
It is a tough thing, it is, but I think the outcome would be fantastic at the end. It's got to rain a little to get a rainbow.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing this before us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks
Keep
for your
at it.
time.
Thanks, yeah.
Perseverance here.
That's right. It's the Italian in her, she's not a quitter. All right, where are we now?
Credit card?
What did you say? Oh, yeah, the credit card. All right.
What page is that on? So the reason that we put this on is because the policy, or there's been some adjustments now with the town administrator leaving, so what we thought was it would, given that Jim, Mark, and I were the ones that reviewed this last, that Jay, you, and Alan would have an opportunity to take a look at it. Also have an opportunity to understand who has a card, and that Lisa is the one that monitors it internally for us and is doing a great job with that. So that was the purpose of putting it in here now. not to
I
make
couldn't
any
find
changes.
anything in this I disagreed with.
Really, can you tell me, what do you think, how many credit cards, every department have a credit card?
No, but it's
There's a list in here,
couple of
Jimmy.
pages.
Oh, there's a list.
Yeah, right there.
Oh, right here. Ashley. Oh, these are the limits, 5. Eric.
Yeah, the recycling center director chose not to have one. They did have the option, but made the decision not to.
Ah. I didn't know you called it Katie, Catherine. Laurie's out.
Katie's now doing the things that Lori would do in terms of,
Right.
And Catherine and Lisa are going to get together about raising her limit, given the fact that she's taken on the expenses
Yeah.
of the town administrator.
Right. So if we need to have another approval here, then,
No, Jay, this was just
a review of it, so we
Yeah.
could say we're,
so you knew what it was.
okay, so I feel we reviewed it. I'm done thinking about it right now.
Oh, the fire department has a big limit, huh?
Tires.
Yeah, this is... Yeah.
My books.
So we don't have to really do nothing with it, we're just reviewing it?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. Did everybody review? Okay. Is there a motion on D?
Yep.
Okay.
Just to approve.
We already done it?
No, it's just a motion.
I move to approve the tax abatement for M248 L430 CGO 31.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Old business?
I have one old business here,
Yeah.
Jimmy. There was some confusion about the computer for the finance director. We originally approved a desktop computer. Then we found out that the potential finance director would prefer a laptop. We have another estimate for the laptop here, but we haven't approved the laptop computer. We've approved the desktop computer. The laptop is a little bit less, and the question is whether we want to wait and approve this later, or whether we want to approve this now. That's the question. So we have an estimate of $2,058.59 for a laptop computer. This would replace the approval that we gave for the desktop computer, which was a little bit more.
Well, considering what's been going on, do we Do we need to do that now, or should we put that on hold?
I think we put it on hold. I just
Yeah.
wanted to say that we do that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, by consensus, we'll,
You wanted to talk about the meeting schedule. That's on here for old business.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Or any other business, I should say.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk about our dates for meetings. What do you guys feel about our meeting, the selectmen meetings, that knowing what's happening to us right now, meaning we have a lot going on that we stick with every week, we go back to every week, every Wednesday.
We've been every week, every Wednesday since we went to every other week.
exactly. So I think we've already answered that question. We need to go every week.
Well, I'm saying officially, we make a new
Yes.
schedule and just get back to it, because I think we're gonna fall behind with everything that's happening right now if we
And
do it.
it's much better if we have a set time we're going to meet, we can plan
Maybe
our schedules
maybe
around
they'll
that,
be
rather than
quicker.
having all of a sudden, oh, we got to meet Tuesday afternoon, if we have a Wednesday night that we know we're going to meet, we can do things then.
But hearing that, Sue, how do you fit in on this?
I actually kept it on my calendar, so.
You told me that, so you're okay with it too?
She's smarter than all of us.
She is. She knew this was gonna happen. She read, and she laughed at us all.
I'm such a big social life, and I had to make sure.
All right, so you're okay if we go back to weekly Wednesdays until further notice? If everything irons out, we can take a break here and there, we'll try to do it, right?
Yeah, I just asked that we hold off implementing it until the 15th, because tomorrow's a half day. Mondays, some people are taking off. It would be difficult to get a packet
Oh,
together.
right.
Yeah, so next Wednesday we'd have off,
The 7th,
and then we'd go to the 15th. Okay, that
That
makes
works.
sense. And then we'll go right back to weekly, okay?
Yeah, and there may be some ad hoc thing that we need to do next week, but we don't know what that is right now, so let's leave it that
We'll
way.
tackle those as they come.
Yeah.
And if we're meeting every Wednesday, maybe some of the meetings won't have to be that long.
Maybe the packet won't be so thick, you think?
Well, we're moving along tonight, and we had a lot going on, so let's keep going.
Let's keep going, because I'd like to get out of here.
Yep.
Okay, so you got that, Sue? You got that? You got that?
Beginning of the 15th, we'll meet every,
We have no administrative update, right? Oh, well, really, Jay, do you have anything?
that was it, really.
Okay.
The rest of it is all stuff that
Review
doesn't
the
rise to the level
scheduling,
the board needs to know about.
correspondence, the letters,
I
Wilson.
think I'd like to add that the town hall staff has responded very favorably to the change that's occurred, and they're all working very collaboratively and cooperatively. It's been a great experience.
We've had a very good week in town hall. They've been wonderful people working hard there.
It's fantastic news. Phil, do you have a couple letters you'd like to read?
I'm not the vice chair.
I'll read them.
Okay.
I read them last time too, so. Town of Swansea, just wanted to ask and find out if the town of Swansea is doing anything about the terrible weed problem in Wilson Pond. The last 2 years, this is a bigger and bigger problem. Please let us know. Sincerely, Joe and Betty Leclerc.
Well, we did take a significant step forward last week with a tour from Mr. Scalera that was very informative for me to see the level of vegetation.
I've reached out to my contact at DES and asked her for some suggestions on how to handle bladderwort, which is the big thing we showed you out there. And she said that you are allowed to remove 900 square feet in front of the shoreline at a time, so a property owner could take a 30 by 30 section in front of their property and remove the bladderwort. Usually raking is best, because if you break it up, it just makes more little bladderworts. That's how it propagates. It does by fragmentation. So raking, I know Mark has been doing some raking over his property, and other people too. You rake it, you dry it out, you get rid of it, take it to the dump, whatever, and that will only take part of the problem. We also have asked her to provide me, she offered to do so, and I've asked her to provide me a list of contractors who we could pay to come in and take care of the excess bladderwort. But we don't know what the cost is yet, so it would have to be borne by probably the residents of Wilson Pond, not the town. But this is This is the steps we've been taking. And that's not just the, that's not the select board, that's not the town, that's the Wilson Pond Association doing that.
Mark?
Yeah, I actually received a call about a half hour before this meeting from somebody who was relating it to somebody else on the pond who was just going nuts. I mean, as far as cleaning it, you clean it and it's right back, not a day later, hours later. It's all over the whole pond. And I really wish it was a nicer day where you guys could really just see into the water and see the extent of it. I know you got a pretty good feel, but you know, the person's concerned about even the boats on there, breaking it up. It's a legitimate concern. I'm not sure, we have water testing on the 16th of this month. I'm not sure come August if I'll be able to use the boat for water testing. That's how bad it is. But anyway, the one person who was relating it said, you know, the person reached out to town, it wasn't the Leclerc's, I guess a phone call, they reached out to Fish and Game, they reached out to Concord, they've done some research, there's many different types of bladder wort, some of them are poisonous, will cause stomach issues and things like that, if it's digested, so the concern is, you know, this family having a weekend ordeal with their kids in the water and all that, they're beside themselves. They don't know what to do. And this is a family that's been there for a long time, not one that kind of socializes with a lot of other people, but they, you know, they deserve the right to use the water and have an opinion. So it's real, and I'm wondering if what might be the step to identify the type of bladder wort to either put people at ease or to get, you know, things motivated. I would think the extent of this is really if we have the right people come out and look at it, we can identify it and say this is a problem, that we might be able to make more headway. And I don't know how to go about doing that.
I'm hoping that one of these contractors would come and give us an estimate, and in the process, they would tell us what kind of bladder wort we have. But the ones I see, I don't see any of the invasive bladder warts or the dangerous ones. I just see the same old species out there all the time. But I'm not an expert. I did go to a plant identification workshop, but it's not. It looks to me like it's all one type of bladder wort. It's the common bladder wort that's all over the country, and this is just mushrooming in Wilson Pond. We're a bladder wort farm. That's what we are.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want to be the one to say that for sure. But also, just in the terminology, I really am pointing out the difference. There's native and there's non-native. Both native and non-native can be invasive. So this is a native invasive one.
It's mushrooming. So.
Because it's just nuts. It's nuts. I can see my boat coming out probably within a month. It's mind-boggling.
And we just feel we're just getting into the hotter days of summer, so it's a problem. And I've asked this woman at DES to come down and look at it for us, but she's stuck on the fact that we're a private pond. So far.
It's a shame.
I did mention to Alan at Coffee Connections today what our next water testing is, because I really showed interest. I'm hoping you can come out and provide a next intern level of feedback on what you see.
I'll be there on the 16th.
Do you know this person that wrote the letter?
I know of them. I spoke to them briefly.
Would have been nice if they were notified that we did try to go out and take a look, you know, the select board did. I mean, but, you know, we don't know really how we can help. I mean,
I think the important thing is that we, if there is some way you can help, that you get notified, or we get notified there. And I think that's what it is. We have to be told how we can get involved as a select board. And I'm hoping that we can do that once we get some more information. It's just a slow process, and we got the holiday here, which is interfering with some of this.
I take a call or letters from the select board, governing body, goes a lot further than just an individual call. A person. Excuse me.
Okay, Mark.
All right, the next letter to Officer Jonathan Collins, Sergeant Nicholas Paquin, Swansea Police Department, Swansea Fire Department, Cheshire EMS, and the Swansea Board of Selectmen. I am writing to you to express my deepest gratitude for the incredible support, professionalism, and compassion that you and the entire EMS team, Swansea Police Department, Swansea Fire Department showed during the medical emergency that occurred at my home on June 9th, 2026. Your quick response, calm demeanor, and dedication made an overwhelming situation far more manageable. The way that you provided medical care for my husband, Michael, was truly remarkable. It's easy to take for granted the help will come, but when I called, I saw firsthand your skill and kindness to me and my family. Please know that your efforts and appreciation will never be forgotten. You are all a shining example of true service to our community. With heartfelt thanks, Lily and Shirachella and family.
Hear, hear.
Any more public input, Mark?
Will that letter be shared with the police and the fire department?
I assume they probably already have it.
Jay, you know the page that Rick, for this building, had that list? We got to think about that, too, on the agenda. We have to bring him back, too. Oh, we have to set up, not bring him back, but
We have to make a
maybe we won't
meeting,
put him in the agenda, but we have to address that.
or maybe we meet with him at 5 and have a 5:30 meeting.
Yeah, we got
after
to
that,
think,
something like
let's
that.
not forget that. I don't know, are you taking notes of things that tonight we did?
I made a few notes. I
That was one, the other one was, what was the other one we just talked about?
We have to confirm with Primex the Grange.
Oh, yeah, the 15th, the agenda, yeah.
Follow up with Joe.
And follow up with Joe. I think that's it, Rick. Right?
Yep.
All right.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn.
Second.